Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about my 2021 reading goals. I know we're into 2021 now, but I did make these goals like at the beginning of the year, and I have been thinking about them as I've been reading in 2021. I just haven't shared them with you yet, but I wanted to do that. I really don't think I have anything that shouldn't be doable, so let's hope this all works out. I have 8 reading goals for 2021. The first one is my constant read 100 books. This is just the Goodreads goal that I set every year, and it's just like the baseline of like, if I don't read 100 books, I feel like I'm not prioritizing my reading enough. But the way that I read, I generally don't have a problem hitting 100 books. So this is a non-stressful goal, but a goal that I just like to set every year because it just feels like a very round, complete number. And it is a lot of books. It's just kind of my baseline number that just helps me stay constant in reading. So yeah, read 100 books, that should be fine. My next goal is to bring back the week of graphic novels. I've done it at least twice, maybe 3 times. And I did it every year earlier on in my channel, but I haven't done it for the past 2 years, I think. And I just don't know why. And I need something to push myself to be motivated to actually do it again. So it's one of my official reading goals because I really want to make this happen in 2021. The week of graphic novels isn't an official readathon or anything. It's just something that I personally did a few times because I thought it would be fun, where I spent the entire week just reading as many graphic novels as I could. And I have really enjoyed it when I've done it in the past. And I don't know why it just kind of trailed off for me. I feel like I have lost the spark of love that I had for graphic novels a little bit. The amount of graphic novels I read has been declining quite a bit. The past couple years, in looking at my book stats, graphic novels have been a really small portion of the books that I read, and that has just been really disappointing to me. So I want to do this to read more graphic novels, and I just think it'll be fun. When I've done it in the past, I've just kind of decided that I'm going to read graphic novels for a week and done it all on my own. I probably will do an announcement in a TBR video, so if anybody's interested in joining me, they can, but I don't really have the energy or desire to turn it into a full-fledged readathon or anything like that. But I will let you guys know when I'm doing it. So if anyone wants to do a week of graphic novels with me, once I figure it out, I'll tell you guys, and it would be fun if somebody participated with me because it is a fun time. So yeah, that's my next goal, is to bring back the week of graphic novels and actually make that happen. And then consequently, because of that, I will have read a lot more graphic novels in 2021 than I have for the past couple of years, which I think is going to be just really nice. It will make me feel better. My next goal is something that I kind of was unofficially doing in 2020, but I wanted to make it an official goal of 2021 and really commit to this. And that's the way that I read series. I talked about this a bit when I wrapped up the series that I read in 2020, but I just found it really satisfying for me to focus on series, and once I start one, I finish it. Honestly, a big part of that motivation for me was this channel, because it feels really good to, at the end of the year, sit down and be these are the full series that I read, and I can just review an entire series as a completed thing. And I just really enjoy doing that. But it also, in turn, actually makes me finish series, and I like doing that because just in the past I have such a bad habit of reading the first book in a series and never continuing, but always thinking oh, I kind of want to read the rest of those, but never doing it. It's just annoying, and it messes up my reading habits. And then once I finally decide to keep going with the series, I've forgotten the first book or the first 2 books, and I have to go back and reread them, and it's just a whole ordeal. So my official goal is to finish every single book series that I start in 2021. So if I start a book series during the year, I have to read it through to the end by the end of the year. And that will just hold me accountable and make sure that I actually get through the series and I don't have a million unfinished series on my list. There are definitely a few exceptions to this rule. Obviously, if a series is still in progress and there are future books that will be published, I can't read those, so that won't count against me. And then there are potentially like really long mystery series where there's just so many books that I couldn't possibly read them in a year. Series like that, I'm not gonna force myself to read out all of them. Like, I pick up Nancy Drew books all the time. There's hundreds of Nancy Drew books. I'm obviously not going to read them all in one year. So stuff like that is not going to count. But in general, I am going to try really hard to read series in their entirety within the year. I think that having this mindset and this goal is kind of going to stop me from reading series that are in progress at the moment. It just is going to overcomplicate things to read a book where the sequels haven't been published yet. But honestly, I kind of prefer that because, like I said, it just like, I'll read the first book in a series and then the next ones aren't published yet. So I take such a long break that I always have to go back and reread the original book, even if I didn't necessarily like it enough to want to read it twice. I feel like it's kind of a waste of my time, and it makes the whole enjoyment of the series go down if I read one book and then wait an entire year for the second one to be published. Just in general, I think that I'm going to really try to hold off from reading books that are part of in progress series, unless it's something that I am truly anticipating from an author that I love, or it's a series that I know that I just like need to read the next book. I'm going to try to be conscious about making decisions where I'm not going to pick up a book if the series isn't finished yet. I'll just hold off and wait for it to be done and then make the decision to start it. I honestly think that I'm going to enjoy the books in the series that I read a lot more because of that. I think in general my reading is just going to have a lot of a better flow to it because of that. I hope it's something that will help me out. My next goal is to read 5 books that are over 500 pages each. This is probably the one that I'm maybe most wary of, just because I usually put a goal on my list where it's like, you need to read books outside of your comfort zone. And then I don't want to do them because they're outside of my comfort zone. But I really do want to try to read longer books and like push myself to read big books. 500 pages isn't even long to lots of people, but it generally is to me. I don't tend to read books that are 500 pages or more. But when I do, I feel a good sense of accomplishment. There are plenty of really long books that I have enjoyed and appreciated. Looking back on my reading, when I see that I read a really long book, like I just feel like proud of myself. It feels good, and I would like to do it a little bit more. This goal is just basically to kind of break down my fears and apprehensions about reading really lengthy books, and I would like to try to prioritize them a little bit more. 5 is not like a huge number, so I feel like I should be able to read 5 books that are 500 or more pages. If you have suggestions of really big books, I would love to know them because I'm not really sure what I plan to be reading for this goal. We'll see. I hope it works out. This is the one that I'm most worried about. But at least right now, my mindset is that I'm excited to try it. We'll see how I feel later on in the year. My next goal is probably the biggest one that I have. This is definitely going to take up most of my time and be the biggest priority for me. And that is that I would like for the majority of the books that I have read in 2021 to be written by people of color. I'm just really unhappy with my statistics that I've tracked for the past couple years in regards to the diversity of the authors that I'm reading when it comes to white authors versus people of color. It's just so predominantly white, and I just want to change that. I did do a similar project to this in the past for like 2 years. For every 5 books that I read, one of them could be written by a white author. So 80% of the books I read were written by people of color. My official goal is just the majority, so like 51% or more. It's just anywhere over the halfway point. I would like to be reading more people of color than not. So this is just something that I'm going to need to keep track of as the year goes on and just make sure that I'm maintaining consistency with it, and that whatever the number is, like by the end of the year, it just has to be 51% or more. This is something that I'm definitely going to have to pay attention to, I think a little bit more than my other goals, because those are a little bit smaller scale. This I really do need to make sure is consistently happening throughout the year. I'm excited about this. I think it should be good. Like I said, I've done this sort of thing before, so I definitely think I have the tools to do this, and it should be good. And I think I'm going to feel a lot better about my reading. I'm excited to be picking up more books by people of color and just focusing on that again, because yeah, it's just disappointing to see how like I did such an intense focus on this same goal a few years ago, and then once it wasn't an official goal of mine, it kind of just like goes to the wayside. I think this has a lot to do with publishing. This has a lot to do with the book industry and the book community and the things that people read and recommend. But it also obviously has to do with me and my own accountability and my own actions. Clearly, it's just as disappointing to see like the reality of the numbers, like the lack of diversity in the books that I read. But yeah, I'm gonna change that, and 2021 should be good. I think this will be the goal that I'll be most disappointed in if I don't complete it. And then my last reading goal is something that I just thought would be kind of fun. It's not a super serious or meaningful goal, but I just liked the idea of this in regards to the book stats that I track when it comes to location. I started tracking the location of the US state that the books that I read take place in 2 years ago. So I did it for 2019 and I did it for 2020, and I looked at the US states that I was reading books in. I just have really enjoyed seeing all the different places that I have traveled in books in the United States, and I took a look at the 2 years where I tracked it, and I've covered most of the US. So there are actually 8 states that I have not covered from 2019 to 2020. So I just decided to make it like my goal to cover those 8 states within 2021, so that for the past 3 years, during the time that I have actually like officially tracked this information, I will have read a book that takes place in all 50 states. I just thought that sounded fun. It's not super serious or important, but I think it sounds fun. And to be clear, I'm pretty sure I have read books that take place in all of these states, like throughout my life. This is just specifically like in regards to the fact that I started like officially keeping count of this, that I don't have like an official record of my reading books in these states. So this will just be like a completed 50 state goal for the past 3 years. So the states that I'm missing are Delaware, Hawaii, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Dakota, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and North Dakota. So I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to read for my Hawaii book, but if any of those states jump out at you and you have a book rec, let me know, because I need to read a book that takes place in every single one of those states by the end of the year. We'll see. I honestly don't know if this is going to be a difficult goal or not. It just might be random coincidence that like these states weren't in any of the books that I read for the past couple of years, but it might just be because like there really aren't very many books that take place in these states. I don't know, but we'll find out. So those are all my reading goals. I also have 2 booktube related goals that I just kind of lump together. So my 2 booktube related goals are, number 1, still, I would like to caption all my videos in 2021, and specifically, I would like for my videos to have captions when they are posted. So a video cannot be posted until the captions are actually completed, and then I can publish the video. This is something I've been trying to do, and I've been getting better at it, so I feel like this is definitely doable in 2021. I have the tools and the resources and like the work ethic figured out for this. Like I have been doing this, just not very consistently in 2020. So now that I like know that I can do this, I would like it to be a very smooth, consistent practice for me in 2021. And then kind of going along with that, my second booktube goal is to post at least 1 booktube video per month. And that is just because like I want to maintain a little bit of consistency. For the past couple years, I have pushed myself to do daily video projects where I do a video every day for an entire month. And I really enjoy doing that, and I'm not planning to do it this year. And I'm a little bummed about it, but the reason for that is because like I just don't keep up with the captions when I do that. And so this year I have decided to choose captioning my videos over doing a daily video project. And another issue with the daily video projects that I do is that I'll do like daily videos for a month and then I won't post anything for like 3 months. I just like burn myself out and I need to take a break. And I feel like I just want to do the opposite of that this year. I would like to post a little bit more consistently and routinely, even if it's not a lot of content, like one video per month. I just would like to maintain at least that amount of consistency, because I haven't done that like in the past. Like I will go a month or 2 months or 3 months or maybe even longer without posting a video at all. And I would just like to not do that in 2021. My schedule and like my feelings on BookTube are still like kind of weird right now, because we are still in the pandemic, and like that has affected my like relationship with this channel a lot. So it is very possible that I'm just not going to want to engage with BookTube a lot in 2021. We will see how it goes. My optimistic hope is that I am going to be more in sync with this channel and like I want to produce content again. My goal for now is a 1 video per month at least, just to keep that consistency. But I honestly don't know if that's gonna happen. And this isn't an official goal, but like low key, I kind of would like to do maybe like a small stretch of daily videos, like maybe a week of videos. I think that I could do that. And so that's potentially something that I maybe like want to keep in my mind as something I might want to try, but I'm not making it an official goal just yet. But that's something that's like also kind of brewing in my mind as like something I could do that is like a smaller scale of a month of videos, just a week of videos. I think I could probably accomplish that. But that is it. Those are all my goals for 2021, my reading goals, and then a little bit of BookTube related goals. Please give me book recommendations for the things that I mentioned if you have any. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see how my reading goes in 2021. This is what I'm going to try to accomplish, but you never know. Thank you for watching. Bye.